there, resin creators. How you doing today? Coming to you live from my studio, and I wanted to take a moment to talk to you about something that I've been getting a lot of questions about recently, and that is, what is proper ventilation when you're working with resin? Okay. And I realized, right, I'm always preaching to you guys, resin safety is super important, right? You gotta take all this stuff very seriously and take care of yourself. And I'm always telling you proper ventilation. And finally people are like, what is proper ventilation? Okay, so first and foremost, let me say that I am not an engineer. I'm not an HVAC specialist. I am not anyone who has any kind of scientific training with these particular details. However, one really weird fact that I know is that if you are an animal in a laboratory or in a research setting, proper ventilation is considered a complete air exchange of the room once every 15 minutes. Okay, so I let that be my guiding principles. Okay, so that's the goal that I'm trying to reach when I do proper ventilation in my studio. So I thought I'd just take a couple minutes and walk you through what I do, and hopefully it'll give you some ideas on what you can do to get the best ventilation for your resin crafting area. Okay, so first and foremost, okay, is that you need to have something to get fresh air into the room. So I live here in Florida. It is, I understand I'm incredibly fortunate that I can have good weather a lot. And so one of the things I will do is, let me turn this around here. I have a window right here next to my space. Oh, and then here's one of the other little fun things you get to see in Florida, right? We get these little lizards and stuff all the time. Okay, so this is my window. This is my resin crafting area, okay? And I do have the benefit that I have a mother-in-law suite that is dedicated strictly as my resin studio. So I will open this window, provided the temperature's warm enough. Remember, you got to keep that in mind. Resin's going to need, low 70s to properly cure. So I will open the window. And then, I'm working right here. And then what you can't see is I also have a window on the other side of the in-law suite that I will open as well to give me some really good cross ventilation to get the air moving. Okay. So if that is not the right time of year for this, because believe it or not, it does get cold here from time to time. The other thing I will do, and let me turn it around for a minute, is you can see up there, I have a ceiling fan. So I will turn the ceiling fan on so it is drawing air up to the top of the room. So that way, it's helping to create some airflow to get stuff away from me. Okay, the other thing I like to do as well is I have a little mini fan. Okay. And what I can do with this fan is depending on where I'm pouring and how I'm set up, is I can either set the fan up so it's sitting next to me and blowing fresh air on my face, or it's sitting next to me and kind of blowing air from behind me to past me over top where I'm doing resin to get the fumes away from my face. So for example, part of having the mother-in-law suite, right? So, okay, so I'm going to turn this around here, right? So I use the top of a stove as my crafting area. We have a microwave, and I can set the fan right here. So I can plug it up so it's blowing air directly on me, or I can set it up that, it's blowing air over top of the resin. Now the problem with blowing it over the resin, is you have to worry about dust and cat hair and all that kind of fun stuff. So I tend to blow it directly on me and my face to get fresh air towards me. And that's typically what I do because I'm all worried about dust and stuff. The other benefit I've got as well by working here on a stove, which is, not plugged up or anything, but I have a vent hood. Okay. And so for those of you who are doing really big pours and you're doing a lot of them, you're doing big artwork pours and you're constantly working with resin and all that, might be something you want to talk to an HVAC specialist about, They can create a little vent, pipe some stuff into your room, whatever. I mean, it's not cheap to do that, but if that's something that you want the ventilation, you're trying to get the fumes away, you're pouring big stuff all the time, that might be something that you want to consider. Then of course, your other option is, what, like certain times a year, like we're like, this is one of those weeks, I will go outside. I won't necessarily go outside for small jewelry projects, but for big, I'm pouring it on a canvas, I'm pouring it on tiles, I'm doing like some big stuff and mixing large amounts, I will totally go outside. Obviously, you need to make sure nobody's going to bother your stuff, and you got to be able to cover it and all that, and worry about, anything that might be floating around in the air. But there's nothing saying you can't go outside. And I will tell you, for those of you that want to work with polyester resin, do not do it inside. Oh my gosh, there is not enough ventilation in the world to take care of what polyester resin smells like. So that is the only way I will do it, is working outside. So last but not least, if you are concerned, you can obviously use a respirator. I see Sandy asked about using a respirator. And this is the one I use. I keep it in a bag. It prolongs the life of the cartridges, especially down here in Florida. Let me see if I can't turn this camera around so I can show you guys a little better. So especially like down here in Florida, the humidity can seep into the cartridges and reduce the useful life of your cartridges. But this is the part that goes over my nose. These are the cartridges. If you're going to get a respirator, make sure you get one for fumes. Okay, not all respirators are the same. So while, for example, an N95 mask is great for protecting us against COVID, it is not going to protect you against resin fumes. So you need to make sure and get one for resin fumes, and make sure that the mask fits well on your face. The one I like to use, I get from pksafety.com. So the letter P, the letter K, the word safety.com. If you go there, they are fantastic with tech support. They will help you get the right one. Ladies, they will tell you need like a size medium initial face piece. A small is fine. They must sell to like a lot of big construction workers or something. And the center face piece is good as long as you take care of it, meaning you don't have to buy a whole new apparatus every time you feel like the cartridges aren't working anymore. And the cartridges, either you will need to, they will either tell you it's only good for so many hours, or of course, if you're like wearing it and you're like, do I smell something? Then that's the time you need to change the cartridge. And if you're not sure, I would tell you even get like something really pungent to try and smell, like vinegar or bleach or something that really has that very characteristic odor. So that way you can know if they are working or not. But PK Safety, I know they've been a little busy with the COVID outbreak. So you may, I don't know how easily it is to get your mask and cartridges, but they have fabulous customer service, and that's where I get mine from. So anyway, I hope that helps you guys. Above all else, when in doubt, just do things to improve the airflow in your room. Fresh air is always good. And then the last tip I will give you too is especially when I'm working here and I've got the window open, right? I will start working with resin as soon as it's warm enough in the morning. Okay, so let's say gosh, we're supposed to hit the 90s this week. Can you believe it? So my room temperature is usually ready to go by 7:30, 8 o'clock in the morning. And so I will open up windows. I will start working with it then, and then let windows stay open all day. Okay. And then, I keep, a check of the temperature. And once I see that it's getting back down to, upper to mid 70s or so, I will come over and open the windows, come over and close the windows, and then I'll let it sit all night. And I keep everybody out of here for the rest of the night. And then usually by the next day, everything's all good. So, okay. All right, everyone, take your resin safety seriously. We want you to use and work with resin for a really, really, really long time. And don't forget, when you make something with your resin obsession purchase, please tag us so we can share it with the world. Okay. All righty, everyone. So good to see you, and take care.